Hi guys, today I wanted to talk about the Sermon on the Mount. And the Sermon on the Mount is from Matthew 5 through 7. Here, Jesus introduces the kind of life those who seek the kingdom of God must lead. So he goes over the Old Testament laws and broadens their implications. And why does he do that? Well, he didn't come on earth to destroy the law of prophets, as Matthew 5:17 says. He actually came to fulfill the law. And it says, "For assuredly I say to you, till heaven and earth pass away, one jot or one tittle will by no means pass from the law till all is fulfilled." So actually, let's go back to understanding what is a jot or a tittle. And actually, a jot is the smallest letter in the Greek alphabet, and a tittle is the smallest stroke in certain Hebrew letters. So let's go a little bit further, what he says next. He says, "Whoever therefore breaks one of the least of these commandments and teaches men, so shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. But whoever does teach them, he shall be called the great in the kingdom of heaven." So right away it tells us that there are certain laws that we should follow. And most importantly is that the observance of even the least commandment is to observe the whole law, while violation of the least commandment is considered the violation of the whole law as well. So we have to understand that if we follow the law that God gave us, but we're missing some parts in it, we're not doing some little parts, we're slacking somewhere, we should understand that we're actually breaking the whole law, and we will be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. This is another interesting thing. This tells me that there's a hierarchy in the kingdom of heaven, and people who follow the law perfectly and who teach others to do the same will be called the greatest in heaven. This is why we should be following even the tittle, even the smallest stroke in Hebrew letters, because that way we have a greater chance of entering into the kingdom of heaven. And I wanted to talk a little bit about how Jesus reveals the deeper meaning of several Old Testament laws, so we can kind of get a better understanding how what God really wants us to do. So the first thing that he talks about is actually, "You shall not murder." This is the Old Testament law, but Jesus goes a little bit further and he says, murder now includes anger, calling someone a fool, and failure to be reconciled with a friend or adversary. This is Matthew 5:21. So murder isn't just killing someone. It's a lot bigger than that. It's even anger. Then "you shall not commit adultery," 5:27. It's no longer refers to the unlawful act of, intercourse outside of marriage. It now actually includes lust. So it says that whoever looks at a woman with lust commits adultery in 5:27. And then talks about divorce, how Jesus allowed it only because of the weakness of sin, but it's actually only permissible if there was any sexual immorality in the marriage, and actually remarriage to a divorced person is not really permitted. And then "perform your oaths to the Lord" is the Old Testament law. But now Jesus instructs us to only say yes or no. So we shouldn't swear on anything without taking an oath. So just say yes or no, no oaths. And to keep the word. This is Matthew 5:33, because Jesus says that swearing on heaven or swearing on earth are actually they all belong to God. So we can't really do that either. And then an eye for an eye, is a graphic way of seeing justice from the human perspective. Now Jesus talks about how you should turn the other cheek and love your enemies. So not only should we not seek vengeance we should treat others as God treats us, with mercy and grace. This is Matthew 38 to 45. So we should stop seeking vengeance and really do what Jesus has told us to do, is to follow the commandments, so that we have the opportunity to enter into the kingdom of heaven and teach other men to do so. You know, we shouldn't spread false teachings, and we shouldn't only halfly be lukewarm in our faith. We should really follow the law, because even the violation of the smallest law is the violation of all. So be careful in your day-to-day life, in what you say, in your words, and it'll be easier to see where you're falling short from God's grace. Amen, and God bless you.